Today's best variety of R&B, 94.1 WHRP. We are always excited to talk to Dr. Whitney West. It is Wellness Wednesday. Tony in the morning and DJ Primetime 256. Good morning, Dr. West.
Morning, Dr. West.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Doing good. See, I almost forgot your name, and I'm glad we're going to talk about you today. Right? Brain health and memory support. Wow. So this one right here, it probably crosses a lot of barriers when it comes to memory loss and what can we do for better brain health. Nobody ever thinks about what are we doing to, I guess, build up the brain cells, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, does that come in foods, vitamins, exercise? How do we do this?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. So, the running theme, since we started this Wellness Wednesday is, I always say whole foods, get rid of processed foods, low sugar, increase your water. We got to sleep better. All of those things apply to our cognitive function. And then what are we doing to stimulate all of that as well? So that means what kind of activities people do cryptograms or crossword puzzles or things to stimulate your brain. But all of those will be secondary to what we put in our bodies. So our nutrition, and then what our sleep habits are. So are we getting enough sleep so that we can rebuild the neurological connections in our brain? So if we're never quiet, we don't hit REM sleep, then we're missing the opportunity for repair and regeneration.
Can you touch on what you just said? A lot of people aren't aware of REM sleep.
So it's the part of your. So we have circadian rhythm, right? So that's how our bodies respond to light and dark, and then the sleep cycle, right? So there's a sleep cycle. So part of that is usually about if we hit it, we are in there about an hour and a half during the night where we actually our brain is resting and rejuvenating and repairing itself. Some of us are light sleepers, and then there's a light REM and then deep sleep. So in REM is the time when your brain can actually repair itself. That's not dreaming. So you dream in, I believe, light sleep. But we never hit REM, so we're not sleeping long enough because it takes a little while for us to get there. Then we hang out there. And then we hit deep sleep for just a short amount of time, and then we come out of it, and then it's time to wake up. So if we're in sleep for, let's say 7-8 hours, which most of us need, older people and children need more sleep. It's funny because they get less. So teenagers really need like 10 hours, but they're never going to get that, right? But, middle-aged folks about, 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours if we can. Of restful sleep. That doesn't mean getting up, going to the bathroom 3 times and that kind of thing.
Stop talking about me, doctor.
So I totally understand that. But yeah, so we need to make sure that our sleep hygiene is such that we are allowing our bodies to make the things it's supposed to make, like melatonin. We're not, doing activities or drinking like alcohol, which actually we're depressed. We feel depressed for a little while or relaxed. And then we wake up. Like, so if you're drinking a lot of alcohol before bedtime, it's going to disrupt your sleep. So and then I think we talked about this before under the sleep section where you have to turn off your devices, turn the lights down, get rid of the white light and the blue light. And you need to be sleeping in complete sensory deprivation. So that means cover your eyes, cover your ears so that you're not hearing things and you can't see the light coming through the curtains or the blinds, or the light in the socket over across the room, like it's the blue light on the plug you have in, because all of that will continue to stimulate you and keep you from making melatonin so that you'll sleep through the night.
It's Wellness Wednesday. We're talking with Dr. Whitney West about brain health and memory support. Dr. West, what are some daily habits that we can do to help sharpen our mental health?
So I said it earlier, puzzles, we do things, we learn a new skill, whatever that is. It could be something pretty simple. We read, we do cryptogram, and then puzzles, I mean, like the ones where the 1,000 pieces where you're putting it, putting it together on your dining room table kind of thing, because it makes you think and you have to look at different parts and stuff like that. And it also relaxes you as you prepare to go to sleep, right? The other thing is exercise. We need blood flow to the brain. And then we need to decrease our stress level, engage with other people. A lot of people had issues during COVID when we were disconnected from people in person. Like we couldn't actually lay hands on people, couldn't see them in person. We did this, which is on Zoom and stuff like that. And that's different. That's a different connection than what's needed to engage your brain and stuff like that. The other thing is nutrition. Like every single day, we need to be getting in whole, healthy foods, which includes things that will decrease inflammation, like omega-3. So that's flaxseed and walnuts and cold water fish and stuff like that. The other thing is things like antioxidants, because we have oxidative stress, that's inflammation, things that cause stress in our bodies, and at the cellular level, not mental stress and stuff like. But this is at the cellular level. We need things like blueberries, whole green tea, dark chocolate, because milk chocolates taste better, but it's not really good for you. So the other thing is magnesium. It's like huge. Most Americans are deficient in magnesium, so that will disrupt your sleep. Also, if you replace it, then it will allow other nutrients to function also. But it helps you sleep. It relaxes you. And then B vitamins, which are in like leafy greens and whole grains and stuff like that. So all of these things work together to help keep our body at a called homeostatic state, like keeps us stable and healthy.
Healthier diet, do a little brain puzzle to relax your mind and keep it strong, and exercise. All of this together will give you better brain health. That's what I just gathered with Dr. Whitney West. Dr. West, when and where can we get in contact?
I am located on my online, www.westmdpc.com.
And let me try this one more time. Dr. West, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
My website is www.westmdpc.com.
And what are your parting words?
Empower Wellness. It is a journey, not a destination.
We need sleep. We need grief.
And we got to work out.
Blue lights.
Yeah. So you lagged a little bit in that last one. That's why I didn't.
No, it's all right. I'm gonna edit
it. Okay.
Yeah. One more. This is the one where we're going to do the medical insurance. 94.1 WHRP. It is Wellness Wednesday. Tony in the morning and DJ Primetime 256. We are hooking it up. All the great medical tips and ideas of things to do to make life a little bit better for you. But one of the hot topics a lot of people are talking about these days, because it's that time of the year, medical insurance. That said, welcome to the show. Good morning, Dr. West.
Good morning.
Dr. West, I'm glad that you're going to help us with this because, every year almost seems like a lot of different corporations change their medical insurance and people start getting confused, especially if you've had it for, a good run, like 3 or 4 years, and then they get a new insurance and then it just gets so confusing as how much money are we putting out as a patient? How much money are we putting out as a consumer as far as co-pays? deductibles. It's too confusing, and maybe you can help us out with that.
So I agree. Even as a medical professional, I've been in this business almost 30 years. It's changed so much over the last probably 15 years or so, 10 to 15 years. Insurance insurance companies are complicated, right? So, and they make their plans even more complicated because I think overall their goal is to not pay. Right. So they do all they can to not pay. So they make it confusing. There's a loophole here, a loophole there. But the most important thing is that patients need to understand what their responsibility is. One, to understand their insurance and to know what their financial obligation is with the plan that they have. There are so many different kinds. There's so many different companies, depending on who you work for and where you get it from, will offer different options. So, most of the time, basic things like your screenings are going to be covered. They're covered without a copay. And a copay is what you pay at the door when you walk into the doctor's office. That's your responsibility to cover your portion of this visit. And it'll be different between your primary care doctor versus a specialist. Like you've been referred to ortho for a bone breaker or something, a strain or whatever. Your responsibility for those different types of doctors is going to be different. So you need to know, because some people could have, $10 for the primary care doctor, but it might be $50 for the specialist. And you need to know that when you walk in the door. The other thing that's super, super important is deductible and what that means. So it is your responsibility your financial responsibility before the insurance company will pay for your visit at 100%. And that depends on your plan too, because some people have only 80% coverage, but they still have to pay, and that's cash out of pocket. So you got deductible and you have out of pocket expenses. Both of those are what you are financially responsible for when you go to see a doctor before the insurance company's payments will kick in.
So if they have on the insurance or insurance plan you choose, and it says that you have a $2,000 deductible, that means that the patient has to pay $2,000 before
Yes.
the insurance company covers them 100%. Is that correct?
That's correct. So, and I will tell you, a lot of the insurances that are out right now, because they have low premium, the premium is what you pay per month. Like that's your bill per month that you pay to have this insurance coverage. If you have a low premium, then most of the time your deductible is high. So if you're paying $20, $30, even $50 a month for your premium, then it is very possible that your deductible, the amount you will pay out of pocket, could be $4, $5, $6. I've seen $9,000 deductible.
So basically, that means like if I come to see the doctor and I have to give them my $20 copay, and then the services that they give me that day, I'm going to have to pay for that out of pocket until that $2,000 disappears.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's every doc you go see. So let's say you go to your primary care and what they charge for that visit that day is $100. That's $100 less, out of that $2,000 deductible, which means that your doctor will not get paid from the insurance company. You have to pay that $100. So it'll go through insurance, it'll be processed, and then on the explanation of benefits, which is called EOB for short, explanation of benefits, that you will also get a copy of, it'll show what the insurance paid out to the doctor, and what your responsibility is. And it will list on there your copay, and then what's left over is that you may owe at the bottom. And that's going to be what you owe. And that's until your deductible is met. And those are important words. Your deductible has to be met for your doctor to get paid from the insurance company.
talking to Dr. Whitney West, Wellness Wednesday, that one topic nobody wants to talk about, but wants to know more about medical insurance and how it works. Now, they've got some medical insurance where you can save, like a bank account.
Right. So health savings account. So you can you put money away monthly, so it saves up, and then at the end you have to spend it on something that is obviously a qualified health benefit. And sometimes that could be a gym membership, that could be exercise equipment, that could be glasses. I know I have a friend who buys a couple pairs of glasses at the end of the year, so if she has money left over in her, it's called HSA for short. So so you can use that money that's coming, and it's coming out of your check at your job. So it's coming out of your check and going to, like, you'll get like a little debit card that you take to the doctor, and you can swipe that for your copay.
So if you happen to have that and or both, keep that in mind. If you have a 2,000, 5,000, whatever the deductible is, before the insurance company covers you 100% with no payments, you have to pay up to that particular amount of money. So between the time you get your new medical card and they tell you what the deductible is, if I'm explaining this right, when you go to the hospital or you go to the doctor, they're going to say you have to pay $300 or $500 for whatever services and how much it costs. And then once you have spent up to $2,000, then your insurance company will cover you 100%. Any lies detected?
No. And I will tell you that it depends on your plan as well, because I have some people who they're only covered at 80%. So they still have, that's called co-insurance. So now you still got to pay on the back end. Once they're paying for you, you still owe a certain portion for each visit. But
oh man, this is so complicated and confusing, and people think that once they're paying their insurance through the employer and they pay that monthly fee, that they're covered 100%, but they're not. So please make sure you're reading when you're signing up for insurance coverage, especially through your employer. Thank you for helping us out with that one, Dr. Whitney West.
You're welcome.
And if anyone wants to contact you for more information, what's the best way to do that?
My website is westmdpc.com.
And your parting words?
Empower Wellness. It is a journey, not a destination.